Warm-up quiz, these will be multiple choice. You just have to write A, B, C, or D, or E if you don't think it's any of them on the screen. Answer is D. Number 2. Answer is B, 6. Answer in this case should be C, 4. The answer on this one should be A, negative 12. All right, homework check, and the first one is going to be from Thursday, 3/21. To solve a 3x3 system of equations, and you have a test tomorrow, here's example 1. So you have 3 equations to start with, and we have to start with the bottom 2. So where do we start at on this? On the bottom 2, and what should we do in the way of multiplication? Yeah, multiply that middle one by 6. So if we multiply the middle one by 6, we should come up with this. The bottom one stays the same. This is the bottom equation there. And then if you multiply through on the top by 6, you should have 6x plus 12y minus 42z equals 102. And since the 6's are both positive, what operation do you do on that? Yeah, you have to do subtraction. And when you subtract, you should come out with 16y minus 41z equals 107. After we come up with this equation that we've generated from the bottom 2, then where do we go in the original problem? The top 2. Yeah, we have to go to the top 2 next. So there are the top 2 equations from the original problem. Is there anything we have to do to those? Do we have to multiply through any of them by anything? No, we already have the x's that are the same out there. They both have a 1 in front, even though it's not written. And since those are both positive, the operation you have to do is subtraction on these. When you subtract those top 2 equations, you should come out with 2y plus 12z equals a negative 38. Those 2 equations that we generated, the 16y minus 41z equals 107, and the 2y plus 12z equals negative 38, now have to be manipulated together so we can eliminate something. And in this one, I believe I went for the bottom equation to multiply by 8. If you multiply that bottom one by 8, the top one stays the same, so we can have 16s on the y. The bottom equation becomes 16y plus 96z equals a negative 304. And since the 16s are both positive, we subtract, and you'll come up with a negative 137z equals 411. You're going to have to divide 411 by a negative 137, and when you do that, you should come up with an answer of negative 3 for z. So we're going to take z equals negative 3 and plug it back into one of those 2 equations that we generated that only has a y and a z in it. And in this case, I chose the 2y plus 12z equals a negative 38 because it looks easier. So if you insert the negative 3 here for z and multiply by 12, you get minus 36, which will have to be moved to the other side to become positive. And negative 38 plus 36 is going to give you a negative 2, which you would have to divide by this 2 here next to the y. So negative 2 divided by 2 should be negative 1. Now we're going to put y equals negative 1 and the value we found for z back into the very first equation in the original setup. So the top equation was x plus 4y plus 5z equals negative 21. And we're going to plug in a negative 1 for the y and a negative 3 for the z. Simplify that to get a negative 4 and a negative 15, which turns out to be minus 4 minus 15. If you simplify that, you'll come up with a minus 19 that must go to the right and become plus 19. And you should have an answer of x equals negative 2. And then you would write all your answers in alphabetical order, x, y, and z. Your final answer should be negative 2, negative 1, negative 3.